This time we're gonna do a reaction video today on a white Crip from the East Coast named Tiny Active that claimed rolling 60s out of California. And before we jump into the reaction video, you know, this one right here is gonna be powered by Alien Labs, and this is that atomic apple y'all see right there. Now, this right here, this is the most potent gas I done came across in quite a while, but you know, y'all can see that. Let's see if y'all wish y'all could smell that sucker through the phone, but boy, I can tell you right now, this thing right here ain't no joke. You know how we do this? I'm gonna watch the video, y'all watch the video, and we gonna tap in the comments.
Alright, you motherfucking haters and custers. I've heard enough, cuz. I've heard enough.
Randy, you the illest.
Raise the seed and hold it high. Forever forward, do or die. East side, west side, north side, south side, nationwide, unified, Crip, Crip, Crip.
What's happening today, viewers? I appreciate you for tapping in. Today, we're going to be talking about the legacy of Tiny Activation. Tiny Activation was born August 21st, 2003 in Virginia. Growing up in Virginia, Anthony, he had to witness a lot of things, having an absent father around.
That's crazy, because 2003, I had got incarcerated. That's the year I went to prison, was 2003. This cat being born the same year that I'm going to the penitentiary. Ain't that some shit? Make me feel hella old, but let's get back to it.
Shit, came in a single household, you feel me, single mom, you know what I'm saying? My daddy, shit, cuz, I don't know what cuz, you feel me? Last time I heard he was smoking crack somewhere, you feel me? So, yeah, I ain't never was no rich person, you feel me? Always struggled, you feel me, on hood.
Living in the South and him being a minority, seeing the South.
See, that's crazy though. He said his dad, last time he seen him or heard of him, he was smoking crack. So already it tell you right there ain't mom ain't present in the household, dad ain't present in the household. So obviously he looking up to some motherfuckers other than his family, and that's where he picking up all this stuff at right here. You know, he sound the part though, right? I mean, shit. You know, he sound the part though. You know, he's done his due diligence behind closed doors to get that motherfucking shit down, to get the mannerisms down, to know, you know what I mean? Like, he picked this up from somewhere. This ain't just how he is. He done picked this up and made this his character. You feel me? So, you know, it goes to show you how powerful it is to have a mother and a father in the household for a child to look up to and get the, you know what I mean? Get the pieces of the puzzle that they need. You feel me? But let's get back to it.
South, it's a lot of segregation, and there's also a lot of poverty going on. And him being poor, he was not getting any passes. He was the only white boy in the community, so he had to prove himself first quarter. But Anthony, man, he evolved, and they'll call him Lil Ant, because this motherfucker will always catch phase. He be getting that ass whooped, but my nigga will catch them phase. You feel me? And after a while, people start liking him, and then eventually he'll go to Baltimore.
Like, family and shit from Baltimore, they came down, they all rolling 60s and shit.
You'll have men such as Trigger, the Young Gun, Jat Boy.
Grandson Gage was shot 14 times and is still recovering, and this whole process.
Them as all reputables, you know, from another rolling 60s hood out of DC. You know what I mean? And you know, like I said, he been taking ass whoopings. He been getting punched on, and you know, finally they just accepted him. You know, they said, shit, he cool. If he gonna show this much heart, you know, we gonna keep him around. And that when you are the minority, people look at you as the weak one. You know what I mean? They look at you like, especially being Caucasian and white, they gonna think you weak and all kinds of shit. You gotta show yourself a 10 times harder. And, you know, ultimately, I think that builds something in the mind, though. You know what I mean? Like, I still even have it to this day, even at turning 40. You know, it's like a disorder. You feel me? It's like a disorder of feeling like I gotta prove myself 10 times harder than the other person. But you know, I like to think I channeled it now so it works in my advantage. But you know, I guess it go on to say, you know, these reputables, put them on, and you know, it's their fault. You got to give a lot of blame to the motherfuckers that put him on and allowed him to really move like this, because looking at the young motherfucker, he ain't nothing. I mean, what is he gonna do though? I mean, he could fight, but he ain't gonna be fighting no grown men. I mean, come on now. He one of them people that you have to go get their big homie and be like, man, I can't even. You know, I'm gonna catch a murder case if I punch on you. You know what I mean? So, I mean, all he could be is a crash dummy, somebody that holds some work or pops a pistol or does some kind of shit like that. But let's hear him out.
To the outside world, Virginia was just nothing but a square town, but a lot of shit was going down, and my man Ant was right in the middle of it. After adapting to the city, eventually, he'll have to jump in that motherfucking square and get put on the rolling 60s. Because in our time, in the early 2000s, 90s, it was two type of white boys. It was this type of white boy.
You're not gonna save me, security? No, not at all.
Till literally just these recent years, even back in the day, but just recent years, we seen white boys like this.
I told you I ain't got time for that, but nigga, today I got time, cuz.
That shit didn't matter. We'll still beat your ass. You can have time every day. Nigga still wasn't like, hey man, fuck all that, nigga. You gotta prove yourself.
Yeah, you ain't gonna beat my ass, but you know, long story short, you know, in the 90s, early 2000s, in the penitentiary in Colorado, in Denver, yeah, you come across some white boys that bang blood, that bang Crip. Not a whole lot. I mean, they far and in between, and some of the ones that you meet, they some motherfucking busters. They some motherfucking off-brand type of motherfuckers. But there's some thoroughbred white boys that I done came across that been bloods, and you know, they with the shit. Now, majority of white boys, though, especially in the pen, though, you know, they gonna get on that racist shit. They gonna feel inferior, they gonna feel weak, and they gonna feel like they need to be, you know, on some skinhead shit, and they gonna be grouping up with the white boys, and they gonna listen to rap music. They know the rap lyrics better than motherfuckers that really even listen to rap. They know it better than them, but they on some racist shit for the penitentiary. But, you know, I seen before I got locked up, you know, Snoop was real big, and, you know, 50 Cent was real big, and I seen then everybody wanted to be a Crip because Snoop was being a Crip. And then when I got incarcerated and Lil Wayne started blowing up, I started seeing the difference between everybody wanting to be a Crip and then to everybody being a blood, because there started becoming a lot more, like, you know, once again, white boys that was banging blood start coming into the pen, and they was weak. They wasn't motherfuckers, but some of them was with the shit though. You know what I mean? And you just see it, because you think about it, music, entertainment, all this shit right here, it's got a big effect on the mind and on the world at large. And, you know, these are people that we look up to. So it just said that, you know, he about to get quoted. You know, they about to put this little motherfucker on the hood and let him officially bang 60s. Ain't that some shit? Like, motherfucker, you know, you cannot drop this cat off in South Central Los Angeles with him claiming 60s and he gonna survive. Ain't no way. I mean, the only way he gonna survive is if he show up with another OG or something. And I highly doubt them cats from Virginia is pulling up there like that. I highly doubt that, let alone DC. But let's watch the rest of it.
More. And that nigga activation, he got active out here. And I will not go into details, but the real no. After a while, motherfuckers in LA started saying Snoop Cuz is motherfucking white boy.
So they say he got active, so I'm taking it. You know, he got a body or two up underneath of him. You know, he might have popped that pistol. You know, they might have used him as the crash test dummy. You know, he got to prove himself. You know, obviously getting quoted just like that ain't enough. So they must have, you know, let him get a couple bodies or a body or something under his belt. Now he activated, right?
Knew the white boy.
Hey, cuz, this little white boy banging the hood, they pressing shit.
They wanted to see what Cuz radar was. Snoop Cuz is, Snoop put Cuz on, all that type shit. And for those that don't know what the fuck I was just saying, now I'm about to speak English. They were trying to figure out who initiated him and what authorization does he has to push the line. So they was on his ass. No.
I'm a snoovosexual.
Slowly but surely, he started gaining access. And a lot of people grew a liking to him, man. I mean, real individuals, man.
Like, oh nah, cuz official, cuz, you feel me? Cuz real.
Shout out to my nigga Top Media too.
They started taking a liking to him. Yeah, I'm pretty sure he probably a cool cat. Probably like hip hop, probably like rap, motherfucker. Probably a cool motherfucker, but he gangbanging. He done turned himself into a gangster. And as he's saying right here now, they saying he real, he official. Ain't that a bitch that now you done turn real by having to do what these motherfuckers told you to go do, by being they motherfucking puppet. Now you a real, now you official, now you accepted. You had to get in they lane, you had to do all this shit right here. You might as well did some strange shit for some change right there, because ultimately, morally, you done did some weird shit just to go ahead and fit in with this motherfucking clique. You looking at this picture right here, man, look at him. I mean, he done learned this pose, he done learned all this shit. He done learned the gangsterism from the internet. The internet got all the gangsterism. You can find out anything on any gang and knowledge and information. That shit wasn't like that back in the 90s. Like, you needed to know your literature. You needed to know your hood history. And the only way you was really getting that is if you was really connected to the pipeline. Now, motherfucker get on the internet and learn how to sea-walk like a motherfucking pro within 24 hours. You feel me? So, you know, it's a cold game. And it's a shame that, you know, motherfuckers get turned out like this, because this is just a young man with no guidance. He probably never gonna get to reach his greatest potential because he done got sucked up into this bullshit right here. But let's hear it out.
They know who I am. Like, that shit, you feel me? That shit cool, cause like,
Cause she ain't the one I ride with. Drop down.
Get on him, babe. Beat the.
Niggas be snakes, but I don't know them. Overreacted. Grow up, listen to both ends.
That's an awful lot of cops, so this not no bait fit. Bum niggas hating on my comments, they the strangest. Nigga feeling suicide.
He getting it in. Getting it in. 6 up. What you mean? They better practice.
Hey, who you here with, bro?
The love though on the day. This my nigga Frontline. Love cuz, support cuz, YNB Exotic. So this my nigga Tiny Animal right there.
I told him my name was Don, man. Why you giving him a gang name? This is positivity, nigga.
I mean, I've traveled the country. I've been to numerous states, and I find myself always landing back in the 60s.
Running wild. Molly going out full throttle high. You bitches got me so turned up. And us niggas better back. So I had to fuck it up. Nigga better buckle up. We 0 to.
I'm tripping, so niggas get pull up and get the business. He ain't with it. Try me, I'm knocking off niggas' fit. It's no forensic.
Before a nigga play with the skull, they better check the skull.
I said fuck life at 13, they thought it was a joke. Tell a nigga skip school just to kick down the door. I was hopping off the Honda, cracked the safety.
For you niggas that went against the grain, I hope you get exposed. For you niggas that go against the gang, I hope your face explode. Before a nigga,
That's a fun fact. Think 10, we in a different league. We don't condone rap. We really getting money.
Bro, we trying to help you out, my nigga.
yeah, we trying to help you out, man. You got real, dude.
For real. We see you with them that little ass television show, dog. We try to help you get cracking.
The pit bake and all that. Like, I really put on for where I'm at.
My personal experience with him, man, I let him know out the gate, I ain't like white boys banging the C card. That was just my personal opinion.
So, right there, I just seen that they showed a gang of people who must be some kind of reputables to 60s, right? But the whole time he on the internet, all this shit is FaceTime, and never once did I see him actually in the hood or his turf out there. They on his wave because they know he getting the internet buzz. You know what I mean? They riding with him. They like, but they ain't gonna ride with you in person. I mean, how they gonna ride with you when they in some other state and you way over on the motherfucking East Coast, Virginia, it's the South, whatever you want to call that. Like, how that work? And this is the internet, but this motherfucker walking around in real life pressing the issue. You know what I mean? Like, it's just a matter of time before it all goes bad. But you know, shit, he putting on for where he at. Yeah, you know what I mean? I salute a little young motherfucker that got that drive and that motivation to try to do something and make their situation better. It's just a cold caper that you got to go ahead and mix this together right here, because with this type of shit, gang banging, there ain't no great outcomes. You know, there ain't no promised land or retirement home for gangsters, man. Hell nah. It's just a matter of time before you crash out in some way. But, you know, shit, I guess that's what we do to be accepted and have some love from, you know, our fellow human, right? But here we go.
But once I found out he was really with this shit, I can do nothing but respect it. But I will not be biased with this shit, man. At the end of the day, this was still a young man, 18 years old, still in his prime. And a lot of people just weren't accepting of it, which is understandable. But it's a lot of things that was going on in his personal life that a lot of people his age and a lot of people that are adults.
Man, young man was 18 years old. Fuck. 18 years old. 18, you still a kid. You just came off of 17. Man, don't even realize what he got himself all tied up into right here. It's crazy how life works, because there'll be that smoke screen over your eyes the whole time. You don't realize you done sold your soul for a jelly roll, and that's what the motherfucker done did. And you gotta think about this shit like, you gang banging, you doing shit that's gonna get you locked up, and you fall into a locked up environment. Little bro right here ain't gonna be able to handle that shit, man. He gonna be prey. He gonna be prey. Don't get me wrong. He might link up and he gonna be prey. He gonna be prey at the motherfucking end of the day. And he gonna go through a rough road, and the road is gonna be very motherfucking rough. But, you know, young motherfucker ain't thinking, right? 18, he ain't got motherfuckers with no guidance around him. Got all these motherfuckers co-signing on him. Ain't nobody really dropping no jewels in him and directing him and moving him forward, or, you know what I mean, telling him to pump his brakes. They gassing him. They putting that motherfucking battery in his back and telling him go. That shit crazy.
Couldn't handle. While I gained a relationship with him, he ended up telling me something about himself that a lot of people never knew.
Thicker and stickier. This sticky mucus causes problems, mainly in the lungs and digestive system, but also affects other parts of the body too. It's not nice. The small airways in the lungs can get clogged up with this mucus, causing infections and, over time, damage to the lungs. So, what does all that mean for everyday life? Well, here are some of the symptoms. Frequent chest infections, severe or prolonged coughs, wheezing or shortness of breath, abnormal bowel movements, difficulty gaining weight, and for most men, infertility. There's also the issue of never being able to meet up with anyone else with CF. Basically, we could make each other unwell because of the bugs and infections that get transmitted between.
But one thing about it, before he died, he wanted to go to the hood, and he damn sure wanted to put on. And nobody knew about his illness but me and his mother, maybe a few others. Put down on the comment if you knew about this. He didn't want that to be his crutch. He wanted.
That's crazy. R.I.P. the little bro right there. That's crazy. His one motherfucking wish was he wanted to go to the hood. He wanted to go to 60s. He wanted to land in the hood and motherfucking be welcomed on the motherfucking turf. Ain't that some motherfucking shit? I get it. You know what I mean? There's yin and yang to it, right? But, man, out of all shit to do in life, to aspire for, right? To aspire out of all this big, huge world, all these opportunities, the young man wanted to motherfucking go to the 60s. Now, motherfuckers in the 60s want to get out of the 60s. They want to have a better life. They want to have a house on the hill. They hustling, trying to get here and there. And a motherfucker from the other side of the map, his dying wish would be to go to the 60s and meet some motherfucking real G's that really are on the turf in the 60s. Damn. And he ain't even sharing the issue that he got. That's a cold symptom he got right there. Rest in peace to his soul, but he ain't sharing that with he ain't even put that out there to the world. He ain't letting nobody know. But damn, that young man man, I feel for him. My heart go out to him. He must have been lonely. He must have really been in need of some love. You know, parents ain't there. I can only imagine. Young kid not getting love. Kids are supposed to get some love. That's crazy.
His crutch. He wanted to go to LA, and he was willing to fade everybody just to prove a point. But unfortunately, something happened. February 26th, a random morning. I'll never forget it. Me and Cuz was just talking.
Well, he don't even know what he getting himself in. He want to go to LA and fade everybody. This little young man ain't even. He'll smack away. He'll smack away from some lipstick, man. And I don't mean to, man. God bless his soul, but let's be 100. You know, to prove a point. Who you proving the point to? Like, how is the disconnect there though? Like, how the fuck did we get into this motherfucking Stranger Things right here, where we distorted reality? You want your dying wishes to go 60s to get the fade to prove something? What the fuck? Crazy.
Never forget it. Me and Cuz was just talking like how we all used to talk to. See, Anthony, man, he had some type of just energy. You always wanted to be around him. Just the personality, I was bigger than his small ass can ever be. But he had heart, though. Tiny Activation, also known as Anthony Witt, he died due to his illness. He was only 18 years old. Just the narrative I'm pushing that Anthony Witt, also known as Tiny Activation, he was just a kid out here, man, just trying to find his way. He had talent, it's just that he just needed to use him in the right ways, because my man had a hell of a seawall.
I'm on Crenshaw tripping. Keep my rack to the left cause I'm crimping, I'm tripping. So niggas get pull up and get the business, he ain't with it. Try me, I'm knocking off niggas' fitness, no forensics. Skirt off and get right back to my business, look I'm different. I hit it one time and then I'm missing. Sash popped open trying to go flipping, boy listen.
On hood, I know y'all see it. But yeah, man, Tiny Activation, man, you'll be truly missed, man.
Yeah, he was fucking up that seawalk. He was doing that. Yeah, he got a cold seawalk. He could have went down in the motherfucking Hall of Fame right there. He's fucking it up, but ultimately, I mean, damn, he got these talents, he got all this shit right here, but it's going in the wrong motherfucking direction. Like, man, all them people around him, ain't nobody trying to drive him the right way. You know what I mean? Everybody can tell them to keep rolling with this shit. You know what I mean? For the views, the likes, they know. You know, as a white boy claiming Crip, you know but bro, just to get the views and the clout, you know, that's a hell of a trade-off right there. Because in real life, they gonna crash you out. They gonna crash you out. And I don't think a lot of people really feel the pain or the hurt that happens when you get crashed out. You know, somebody, if you can't feel what I'm saying, you need to let somebody punch you in the rib one time as hard as they can so you can feel pain. Because, man, pain is a motherfucking pain. You feel me? Like, it's a wake-up call. You know what I mean? It's a wake-up call. And believe me, getting crashed out like young man right here would be, if he got dropped off in some real scenarios, some real environments and shit like that, man, it wouldn't be pretty. But
you know, he was a good kid, you know, regardless of what y'all think, man, he was pretty funny as hell though. But I just wanted to do this, you know, video for my, you know, homeboy. Rest in peace, long live Anthony, also known as Tiny Activation.
Hey, bud, happy Hood Day, y'all. Happy 610. Man, free Ray, SIP Tiny Activation. Y'all niggas stay dangerous out there. Turn up, do y'all thing, man. Hopefully I'll be there for the next one, but until then, shit, I'm gonna remain solid, keep doing what I'm doing.
That's about the most you ever gonna get from a motherfucker while you locked up right there as a shot out somewhere. But you be sitting in this penitentiary, you be sitting in this jail hungry than a motherfucker. They ain't put no money on your books. Motherfucking they ain't went and checked on your people. And even if your people need something, you think they pull up and be able to do it? Nah. Motherfuckers be self-absorbed, you know what I mean? And at the end of the day, you know, don't get me wrong, you know, you can move as a team, but ultimately the motherfucking narrative of that story always got the same ending. And we in 2023 almost. I mean, come on, man. It's time to wake up, man. It's time to move on to 80s or 90s. I could fuck with it and understand it, but man, it's the 2023s now. You know, cameras, internet, you know, all this shit right here. This shit got the game on some other shit. And I ain't even. I'm not an advocate of saying that's what it is. Like, you know, the motherfucking game been played way before I came into the picture. What I'm saying is, this shit dead. This shit dead. Looking at your phone, throwing up gang signs, or holding your gun and your pistol up to your phone and shit, the motherfucking snap a picture or a video for the world. That's what it is. Like, really? Like, that's what we calling gangster and tough now? Come on, man. Gangsters move in silence, man. How y'all up on here? You got 36 motherfuckers in your live. You don't even know who these is. Is he the feds? Who is these people? Is he somebody trying to get you a RICO act? Because what y'all don't realize, as even calling yourself a gang member, if you ever get to a jail or a penitentiary and they put you with a security threat group or something like that, off top, you prone to being first ones pulled off the yard, locked up in the hole, motherfucking, it's just an all-around bad look, you know what I mean? And you ain't even on the turf on no motherfucking set. Like, this ain't even, you ready to die for a hood out of California, you can't even step foot in. That's crazy. And that all your big homies, ain't no motherfucker pulled you aside and just motherfucking schooled you and said, man, there ain't no future in this shit. These motherfuckers lost just like you is. They might even be more lost because they been doing this shit for so long. They got all the sauce and they motherfucking super lost. But, you know, shit, I just be thinking sometimes, man, I peep some shit like this. I figure I share it with the world because, man, somebody out there need to hear this, because, man, that ain't what's up in the internet. And how you looking like that's what's up. You know, he was lit, right? Tiny activation. He got the views, the followers. You know, he just trying to get him a YouTube channel popping and shit. This is how he getting attention, and it feel good, right? It's some motherfucking endorphins in the brain moving. But at the end of the day, man, it's a cold story, man. Cold story. Gotta do better, but you know, shit. That's just my humblest of opinions, man. Y'all let me know what y'all think, and I'm out.